Hi and welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Champions League. Yes, the Champions League is back. Arsenal plays Atalanta away on a Thursday night, so that's going to be one of the moves I've got in this video. But before I carry on and give you my predicted starting lineup and predicted score for this game, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share this video. So let's get straight into it. So the Champions League is back, but not the way we are used to it. If you are somebody that's been watching the Champions League for many, many years, this is a new year, this is a new format, and I'll be lying if I was sitting here to tell you that I understand fully what the new format is all about. We know it's a massive league. I believe it's like 36 teams. The first sort of top 8 automatically qualifies, and you got the next 16 and so forth. Like I said, I've watched so many videos to try and understand the new Champions League format. I'm still trying to get my head around it. And I'm sure there's so many people out there as well that are still trying to get their head around this new format. But you know what? It is what it is. The Champions League is back. And one of the things that I'm going to moan about is the fact that Arsenal are playing on a Thursday night, sandwiched between the Tottenham game and the Manchester City game. So it works out that Arsenal are playing 3 away games in a row, having to do so many travels back to Italy, back to London, and then to Manchester. It's just crazy. Honestly speaking, like, you're playing we've got such an important game on a Sunday, and now we're playing the Champions League game on a Thursday. You know what the craziest thing is like, you work so hard to get back into the Champions League so that you don't play on a Thursday. You play either on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday. But what does UEFA do? They put us on a Thursday night. And from what I've been hearing and reading, I don't know how true this is, but apparently this is the only week within this Champions League group stages that it's a game on a Thursday night. And guess what? They put Arsenal on a Thursday night, and Manchester City played on a Wednesday night. You know what? I'm not gonna say it, because everyone was saying, "Oh, it's like you're just moaning as an Arsenal fan. It's not a conspiracy against Arsenal." But come on, I would have rather played on a Wednesday night. Honestly speaking, we've got a massive game away at Manchester City on the Sunday, and we're going to be playing on a Thursday night. So which then means by the time we travel back, the guys they'll travel back on a Thursday night into the night, then have to train maybe on a Friday, then travel up to Manchester on the Saturday. Then you've got the game on the Sunday. Honestly speaking, whoever's doing this scheduling needs to look at this. Yes, I might be moaning, I might be complaining, but come on, who's going to tell me that if this was your team, you would not be complaining as well? But you know what? It is what it is. We are playing in the Champions League on Thursday night. It's just unusual to me. But let's get straight into the game. So Arsenal go away to play Atalanta away in Italy. Obviously, Arsenal has made a good start to the league so far. So when we look at both teams, Atalanta has played also 4 domestic games. They've won 2 and lost 2. They've scored 8 and conceded 8. So their goal difference currently as it stands is 0. And obviously Arsenal have won 3. They've drawn 1, not lost any game. And they've only conceded 1 goal. So yeah, it just goes to show that going into this game, probably Arsenal will be going in as favourites. But it's just one of those games, because you'd be thinking in the back of your mind, you've got Manchester City on the weekend. So what team do you go out with? What players do you play? Ultimately, you don't want your best players getting injured in this kind of game. And it's just one of those things where it's the first game of the Champions League of this new format. So you got to think to yourself, do we go like sort of as strong as possible in order to sort of get off to a winning start and get that 3 points out the way, so that obviously we're probably in a chance to make that top 8 come the end of the group stages? Or is it a case of you just shuffle things around a little bit when it comes to the players? Trying to wrap my brain in regards to how personally I would predict this starting lineup, because no matter how you look at it, it's like you want to win. You want to keep the momentum. You don't want to go into very pragmatic. I know we're playing away, but honestly speaking, I don't want to get any injuries. We're limited with players enough as it is. Calafiori is back. Yes, he was training, but we still got Marino out. We still got Odegaard out. And it looks like Odegaard is going to be out for a while. And if you watch one of my previous videos, I did say that I believe that Odegaard won't be back till after the next international break. that's probably at the end of October or even November at this rate. Honestly, we don't know. But we're short in midfield. Obviously, Rice comes back into the fold. So personally, I'll be starting Rice in that midfield. Even the back line, do you start with the usual back four or the back five? It's just one of those games because I don't want us to lose, but I also don't want us to get players injured. So my predicted lineup for this game obviously would be, I'll be going with David Raya in goal. That goes without saying. I think I'll still probably play Ben White at the right back because we don't really have an alternative. The only thing I can think of is you drop Rice and you play Timber on the right and you play Calafiori on the left, but is he fit enough to start a game? Bearing in mind we've still got Kivior as well. So is this the kind of game that we bring in Kivior? I don't know. Then you can maybe look at some of the young academy sort of graduates. You got Lewis Skelly. Does he come in on the left back? Is this the kind of game you probably say, you know what, let's put him in and let's see how he gets on. Let's see how he can prove himself. Then you look into the midfield. You got Ethan Wanyeri. Do you bring him into the fold in replacement of, let's say, an Odegaard, for example? Or do we start with the same players, let's say, Declan Rice, like we did in the North London derby? So these are the sort of questions. So I'll be going with David Raya at the back. I'll be going with Ben White on the right-hand side. Then we've got Saliba, Gabriel, Magalhaes, and I'll be going with Timber on the left. Honestly speaking, and maybe as the game progresses, we bring on Calafiori to give him some minutes into the legs going into the Man City game. And honestly, it's just one of those games I can't predict the starting lineup. But I think that's what I'll go for with the back four. Then you go into the midfield. Personally, I will drop Partey for this game. I would bring in Jorginho to play that number 6 role. And then obviously Declan Rice comes back in. He needs some minutes into his legs going into the weekend, in my opinion. So you bring in Declan Rice and obviously you bring in maybe a Trossard into that midfield. Especially, let's say, if we're playing the Havertz up front. So that's the midfield I'd go for. Jorginho, Declan Rice, and Trossard. And then we look up front. I'll be going with Sterling on the left or the right. And honestly speaking, I'm tempted to rest Saka. So I'll go with Sterling on the left, Jesus on the right, and Havertz up front. That would be what I would be going for because I just feel, because obviously Saka came off. It's not an injury. He's been training since the North London derby. It was probably like a little cramp or anything like that, but he doesn't look too serious, if anything. But because of that, I'll be tempted to rest him. Maybe bring him on towards the end of the game, or maybe even if you start him, let him play like maybe 45 minutes, give or take. Or drop him and bring him on in the second half and let him play, let's say, the last 30 to 25 minutes of the game. That's probably what I would be going for because honestly speaking, I'm being cautious. We don't really have much strength in depth at the moment. It's early stages of the season. It's early stages of the Champions League sort of group stages. Do we really want to be risking more injuries at this precise time? Zinchenko is still out. Odegaard looks like it's a long-term injury. When I say long-term, I'm talking maybe a month, 6 weeks, give or take. You've got Mikel Merino still out. Honestly speaking, we're not blessed with options right now. And on the weekend in the North London derby, I went into that game really confident, saying that, I think we're going to win. Honestly speaking, regardless of whoever we brought out, I thought, that was it. And we won. But for some reason, I think this week I'm just more cautious. I just don't want no injuries because of the game that we have next, which is Manchester City. And I just feel like we need to go to the Etihad and get a result. We can't lose. So either you win or you draw. So that's why I'm a bit cautious in regards to going into this game against Atalanta. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As I said at the beginning, Atalanta in the league at the moment, they've conceded 8 goals. So it's fair to say they're more prone to conceding goals more than we are at the moment. We seem to have a more solid back four than they do at this precise moment. And it's also reported, I think they've got some injuries in their defense as well, and up front as well. And also we're going to be meeting one of our old players in said Kolasinac. Yeah, Kolasinac. He plays obviously for Atalanta. He was part of that Europa League winning squad last season. And unfortunately, I personally don't think that Atalanta looks the same team as they did last season right now. I know it's early in the season, but I think going into this game, this is probably one of the best times to catch Atalanta when obviously they're not really in form right now. And I just feel like it's just one of those games you don't know what you're going to get. It's the honest truth. In that regard, in terms of score prediction, I'm going to go an Arsenal win, an away win, 2-0. Probably, I think that's what I'll go for. You know, an easy Italian job. Let's just go away. Honestly, for me, I just want to go there. Win, not lose, obviously. Either draw or win, honestly. And I want more. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I don't want us to go there and win. I do want to win. But at the same time, I would not be upset with a draw. Because I just feel like there's so many more games to go. There's like, was it 7 or 8 games to play in the league, in the Champions League group stages this time around. So it's fair to say that you've got a little bit of a buffer, to say the least. So if we went away, drew the game, I won't be upset. If we won, I'll be happy. I just don't want a loss. And I think most importantly is I don't want any more injuries. So I'm praying that we don't get any more injuries. So I'm going for a 2-0 away win to the Arsenal, because we hardly concede goals, and Atalanta has been conceding goals. So that's the reason why I'm going for that. So yeah, that's my predicted starting lineup and predicted score for this opening Champions League game on a Thursday night. Oh God. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys reckon. What is your predicted starting lineup? What is your predicted score for this game? If you're new around here, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And most importantly, don't forget to share. And I will be seeing you guys after the game on Thursday night in my match review. Hope you guys enjoy the games, viewers. I'll talk to you guys later.